And the vote to release the Jeffrey and Epstein documents is resonating with Northland sexual assault survivors and the organizations that help them heal.
The Northern News Now's Kyrie Johnson spoke with our local program for aid to victims of sexual assault today and local medical professionals as well. Kyrie?
Local organizations like PAVSA say that national attention, such as that surrounding the Epstein Files, helps to underscore the immense courage it takes for survivors of sexual abuse to share their stories. PAVSA supports sexual abuse survivors through therapy, legal help, and medical exams. And while these services offer invaluable help, sometimes the bigger hurdle to jump is simply asking for help.
A lot of survivors worry about kind of different barriers they'll face, or worry that they will not be believed, or worry that they will be actively retaliated against.
Faulkner emphasizes that the national coverage that Epstein survivors are having may encourage others to come forward.
Some survivors may find that that's a good time for them to come out and talk to someone about how they're feeling. It could kind of trigger some fears that they have or different emotional responses.
And working through charges following sexual abuse cases can often be just as draining for the survivors as the initial incident itself. Our local medical centers offer a sexual assault nurse examiner program, otherwise known as SANE. I'm told that service is crucial, but faces its own challenges.
We have people that will come in and say that they want an exam and change their mind and leave before anybody gets there.
But above all, resources for survivors revolve around them making every choice along the way.
Whatever they have just been through wasn't their choice, so letting them have control back is a huge part of them getting the help that they're going to need going forward.
PAVSA has a 24-hour helpline available for anyone experiencing sexual abuse. We'll have that and more resources linked on our website. In Duluth, Kyrie Johnson, Northern News Now.
PAVSA's services are available to anyone 13 and older who've experienced sexual violence or have a loved one who's experienced sexual violence. All of their services are free and confidential.